Hello and welcome to your daily cricket show, the Cricket Happening Show. Well, on this part of the Cricket Happening Show, yes, dear fans, friends, subscribers, I know many people might be wondering as to how with this sore throat I'm still doing. Well, I make it a duty and as a habit with tremendous persistence as far as my passion is concerned. Yes, my throat is not okay, but you never know. Probably after doing this cricket show, I might be a different person, and I've seen that happen. I started off by saying that I have a sore throat, but then finally, when I take off, I feel that I get better and better as this is something that I do it in a very passionate manner. So please bear with me, dear friends, subscribers, even though my voice delivery might not sound so good. But nevertheless, I still get great pleasure in talking to you on this Cricket Happening show. So let me start off. As far as today's cricket show is concerned, it's going to be the second test match between South Africa and England, where time is not a problem at all, and England have been set with a mammoth task of making the highest number ever registered in a victory. They need to make 474 runs for victory. South Africa declaring the innings and setting a target of 474 for England to actually win the match. But as I said, time is not a constraint. We are just on day three, and there are 2 full days to go at Trent Bridge in Nottinghamshire. So that is one news that I wanted. That I'll be definitely doing a sort of a real match summary on that. And the other match between Sri Lanka and Zimbabwe, I have to credit Zimbabwe for actually, even though the lead was slender, it's only a 10 runs. They took the 10 runs lead and they were really struggling. They were on the ropes against Sri Lanka in the second innings at 59 for 5. But look at that recovery that Zimbabwe has staged. They have taken the score to 252 for 6 by close of play. Again, it's a similar situation. There are 2 more full days left. Definitely, one is looking at a result here, and Zimbabwe essentially 262 runs ahead, with Sikandar Raza eyeing his maiden century in test matches, and Malcolm Waller and Peter Moore giving him solid support. At the present moment, it is Malcolm Waller who is standing with Sikandar Raza. So Zimbabwe doing very, very well, I thought, in this test match. And Zimbabwe have really shown to it that now it's not about 1 or 2 players, it's about everyone contributing, and that's what we are seeing, and that is what Zimbabwean cricket should be all about. But first, we are going to the England versus South Africa match, and just talking about this particular game, it was South Africa who resumed on that overnight score with Dean Elgar and Hashim Amla at the crease. Well, Dean Elgar continued his stodginess, no doubt about it, but Hashim Amla, what he did, he ground himself to really almost like playing absolutely second fiddle. I wouldn't say second fiddle. So basically, Hashim Amla was playing. He was grounding himself at the crease to play an innings. He kept on digging, and Dean Elgar was also, as I said, it's a very stodgy opener. And Dean Elgar and Hashim Amla did a good job in the morning session dealing with the likes of Anderson, Broad, and Wood, which was good to see. And as that was going on, the partnership really started doing well for South Africa as the partnership moved from 135 runs were added between Dean Elgar and Hashim Amla as they pushed the score on to 153. And that was going on. Everything was going fine as far as Dean Elgar and Hashim Amla were concerned. And let's see what happened. In fact, Dean Elgar was the first to go. Dean Elgar and Hashim Amla, and they had done a good job of pushing the score on to 153. but still only 23. They were definitely in the box seat at that time with 130 runs lead. They were in a very, very impregnable position at the time. But the first wicket to go was a very aggressive bouncer. It really took one aggressive bouncer from Ben Stokes to see the back of Dean Elgar when he bowled an aggressive bouncer which actually lifted on Elgar. Elgar was in an absolute tangle and he actually trying to take his face away from the ball and tried to hook it, and in the process the ball ballooned in the air and square leg James Anderson settled under it very nicely to send back Dean Elgar. So Dean Elgar was gone. Caught Anderson bowled Stokes for 80 with 12 boundaries, and it took a long time for England to actually get the breakthrough on the third day. Hashim Amla was there. Quinton de Kock came in, and Quinton de Kock came as soon as he came, as James Anderson forced him, bowled a ball which had definitely to be played. He had no other choice, and in the process it had taken the edge of the bat, and Barristow behind the stumps nicely settled under it. So he was gone for one, and that suddenly made it 154 for 3. But Hashim Amla was still there, grounding himself very well and playing innings. But also we saw that poise, whenever he played his strokes, he was definitely waiting for the loose ball. He was the one who was holding the innings for South Africa, and that was a good job. And Hashim Amla saw to it that he did not play any unnecessary strokes. He waited always for the loose ball, and whenever he got the loose ball, we could see the real Amla classic strokes really come into the open as he was stroking them very well. He also shimmied down the pitch to Dawson and deposited him into the pavilion as well. But du Plessis came in, and du Plessis looked very confident in his stroke making as he made 63 in the company of Amla. But Bavuma was the next wicket to go. Bavuma, in fact, du Plessis was there. Du Plessis was the next wicket. He was LBW bowled Stokes for 63 with 9 boundaries. And then it was before du Plessis went, Hashim Amla, as I said, played a knock where he definitely played in a very measured manner, which was good to see, and his contribution was 87 with 14 fours and 1 6 before Liam Dawson bowled a good delivery that turned into Amla, and Amla was a goner LBW. But what a knock from Amla. He stayed there, occupied the crease with time, not a constraint at all. Hashim Amla, I thought, did the right thing in holding the innings and nurturing the South African innings along. So du Plessis was gone for 63, and then after that it was Bauma's wicket. Moeen Ali was pressed into service, albeit a bit late, one thought, but Moeen Ali definitely, whenever he got an opportunity, he picked up the wickets pretty quickly. In fact, he was the one who actually took all the balanced wickets. As first he picked up the wicket of Bauma for 15 with 2 boundaries, and then Morris was the next victim to the bowling of Bauma for 13, 2 boundaries, and Keshav Maharaj was out for 1, leaving Vernon Philander and Morkel at the crease with the score reading 307 for 8. But Vernon Philander was the crease, and with Vernon Philander at the crease, one knew for a fact. But South Africa at the time had amassed a lot of runs. They were the score was looking really pretty, I would say. But then Vernon Philander, obviously under instructions from du Plessis, suddenly started accelerating when that last man, Moni Morkel, came in. Moni Morkel also clubbed a few three boundaries to make an unbeaten 17 with 3 boundaries. It was Vernon Philander who went after Moeen Ali in a big manner when he actually forced Moeen Ali. In fact, first he hit him, he came over the wicket and bowled to him. Vernon Philander put him into the terraces, and then Moeen Ali decided to change the line and bowl to Philander. And once again, Vernon Philander came with an identical shot, a slop sweep which sailed into the spectators. And South Africa finally, as Philander started accelerating, and when Philander's wicket fell, du Plessis called his wards over. Vernon Philander was caught and bowled early. The battle was won by Moeen Ali finally, after being hit for 2 6s and a 4. As Moeen Ali caught and bowled Vernon Philander for 42 with 3 4s and 2 6s. and morning more closed now around 17. In South Africa, the score read 343 for 9, but as I said, the target was 474 runs for England. So as I said, this is the highest chase which would be registered in a test match if at all England managed to actually win. So it has never happened. 418 is the highest score that West Indies beat Australia, Brian Lara's team, I reckon. Okay. So as far as the bowling was concerned, so I thought South Africa did a very good job today, especially Hashim Amla. Anderson 20 overs 4 minutes 245, bowled very well. Broad 19 overs 4 minutes none for 60, wicketless. Mark Wood was not really up to the mark today, 18 5 68 and none. But Moeen Ali introduced a bit late, one thought, by the skipper. 16 overs 2 minutes 78 runs and 4 wickets. Ben Stokes 20 overs 4 minutes 2 for 34, and Liam Dawson 11 overs 1 maiden 1 for 42. So that gave England a target of 474 runs. They had to really survive a torrid 4 overs, 2 apiece from Morning Morkel and Philander, and all the 4 overs were maidens. And in between, we also had a review being done for Alistair Cook, which fortunately came in favour of Alistair Cook. It was an LBW appeal, as England made 1 for no loss. They survived the 4 torrid overs from Vernon, Philander and Morkel, as they closed at 1 for no loss, and a monumental task ahead of England. But as I said, time is not a constraint, but definitely looking at the way the pitch is behaving, it is not going to be easy. I can say for a fact, because certain balls are steep, they're keeping low, certain balls are rearing up, and I think England will have to really play in a great manner to win this match. But time is not a constraint, so they still have 2 full days to go, and I thought it's a bold declaration by du Plessis as well. Just at 9 wickets he decided to declare. So I think we are going to have an interesting day's play coming up on the 4th day, which will determine the outcome of the match. But South Africa, at the moment, with all the law of averages that goes in test matches, one could definitely say that South Africa are favourites to win the match, and South Africa might well be levelling the test series. And what a feeling that would be for Faf du Plessis after taking over the captaincy and coming to England. Well, so that is as far as South Africa and England are concerned. Now let me talk about the next match. We are talking about Zimbabwe versus Sri Lanka. So Sri Lanka resumed at their overnight score with Asela Gunaratne there, but did not take. It was not long before. In fact, as you know, they needed another 63 runs to go in the lead, but they could muster only 53 runs. With Gunaratne clean bowled by Graham Creamer, 45, 3 boundaries. Rangana had tried to leave his crease to the bowling of Sean Williams, who was stumped for 22, 2 boundaries, and Luckmal was caught and bowled Creamer for 14. And Graham Creamer, in fact, Sri Lanka were all out for 346, thus conceding a very slender lead of 10 runs to Zimbabwe. So Zimbabwe got Zimbabwe got a 10 runs lead in this particular test match on the 3rd day, and Graham Creamer picking up his maiden 5-wicket haul in test matches. So that was something which was really, really refreshing to see. That and also Graham Creamer became the first Zimbabwean captain to actually take a fifer, and that was really interesting. Look at the Graham Creamer's figures. I mean, he couldn't do much in the ODIs, but what a transformation here as far as test matches are concerned. Graham Creamer, he toyed 39.3 overs, 4 maidens, 125 runs and 5 wickets. He took it upon himself, being the bulwark of the Zimbabwean bowling attack. Pofu did not, 11 overs 2 minutes 41. Tripano and Pofu did not even bowl today. Sikandar Raza 18 overs did not bowl. It was Creamer and Sean Williams who were in operation. So it was good captaincy on the part of the captain Graham Creamer to keep only the spinners on. Sean Williams and Creamer operating from either end completed the task as they took a 10 runs lead. And now Zimbabwe, and so with 10 runs lead, Zimbabwe came in to bat in the 2nd innings, and they were in all sorts of trouble. it all started off again. The captaincy from Chandimal's Rangana Herath was given the new ball along with Suranga Lakmal, and Rangana Herath, he never disappoints, as you know. First he picked up the wicket by bowling a real ripper to the opener Regis Chakabwa, and he was clean bowled for 6 with 1 boundary. Made it 14 for 1, and it soon became 16 for 1 with Musakanda, the test debutant, definitely having a test to definitely forget, as Musakanda was caught by Karna Ratne of the bowling of Herath for naught, which made it 16 for 2, and it became 17 for 3 when Masakadza, trying to sweep a delivery from Herath, was LBW for 7 with 1 boundary. And there were more problems to follow for Zimbabwe, as the Craig Irvine, the centurion in the first innings, was dismissed very cheaply by the Ranamo spinner Dilruwan Pereira for 5, and then complication followed when Sean Williams was clean bowled by Herath. Herath had taken 4 wickets in that 5 wickets that fell. Sean Williams was bowled by Herath for 22 with 1 boundary. To Zimbabwe were reduced to 59 for 5. Essentially, with 10 runs on, they were 69 for 5, and it looked a very, very perilous situation for Zimbabwe. And they had 2 new batsmen at the crease, Sikandar Raza and Peter Moore. And Sikandar Raza and Peter Moore, Sikandar Raza, well, he, as you know, he likes to get on with the game, and he definitely played, but he showed a lot of maturity and common sense to slowly try to get Zimbabwe out of this big hole they were. And Peter Moore was the one who really assisted him, and both put their heads down together, survived. I mean, they started seeing off the spells of the Sri Lankan bowlers, and slowly, once the ball started becoming fairly old, we saw how Sikandar Raza was getting into the spinners. He was sweeping them well. He was also using the reverse sweep. Also, Peter Moore showed a very good use of the feet against the spinners. And finally, the partnership started really growing. From 59 for 5, it was a wonderful recovery by the Zimbabweans, as they put up a 86 runs partnership between Sikandar Raza and Peter Moore. And Peter Moore also curbed his natural instincts to actually hit the ball, as he also played with lots of maturity to score 40 with 3 boundaries before Lairo Kumara picked up his wicket for 40. So that made it 145 for 6. So, but still, there was a lot of work to be done. But Sikandar Raza was going strong. He was also playing his strokes as and when he got an opportunity. And he also hit 1 6, very good 6 as well, as he was looking supremely confident at the crease at the time when Malcolm Waller joined him. But Malcolm Waller gave admirable company to Sikandar Raza. One more partnership followed, and this time this partnership was a much bigger partnership than the previous one, as from 145 for 6, I thought they would have definitely stunned Sri Lanka here, as Sikandar Raza went on with an unbeaten 97 to his name at close of play on the 3rd day with 7 4s and 1 6, eyeing his maiden test century, and he truly deserves it. And at the other end, it was Malcolm Waller making a very aggressive 57, but at the same time playing according to the demands of the game, as he was not out on 57 with 8 boundaries, as Zimbabwe closed at 252 for 6. In essence, they were 262 runs ahead, and from a situation where they were 59 for 5 to reach 262, and this partnership between Malcolm Waller and Sikandar Raza has already realized 107 runs to the good, and it's still going on as far as 7th wicket, and they still have Creamer still to come, and Tripano also, and Creamer and Tripano both have first class centuries to their credit, as you all know. So definitely Sri Lanka have their task cut out. We are only going, time is not a constraint here as well, like the England South Africa test matches. And look at the bowling. Let's look at Rangana Herath, who created the early damage. 23 overs, 2 maidens, 85 runs and 4 wickets. Dilruwan Pereira, 21 overs, 1 maiden, 1 for 69. Lairo Kumara, 11 overs, 2 maidens, 143. Lakmal bowled 9 overs for 28. And Mendes had to be pressed into service by Chandimal, 4 overs, none for 16. So definitely this match is also well poised. There's 2 full days to go, And right now Zimbabwe are leading by 262 runs. They have 4 more wickets remaining, so they will be hoping to stretch the score probably past 350, and I think the pressure will be right on Sri Lanka because, as you know, as the match as the days go on, there will be a lot of wear and tear on the pitch, and Graham Creamer, the leg spinner, could be a real threat for the Sri Lankans. Well, so definitely it would be very good for Sri Lanka to get as many wickets, get Zimbabwe bowled out very quickly to just save themselves. If it's going to be a 350 mark, I think Sri Lanka will be really hard pressed here. Well, dear fans and subscribers, it was a pleasure talking to you on this Cricket Happening show. I hope you feel the same. I know my voice quality might have not been so good because of the sore throat, but as I told you, once I complete this cricket show, I am reinvigorated, and you can see it during my cricket show as to how the excitement flowed when I started talking about cricket. And this is what this is what passion can do to you, dear friends and subscribers. Thanks for your company and thanks for watching Cricket Happenings. This is your host Ram signing off for the day. Thank you.